Hello, welcome back to Send Him Off. It's been a long week for me. I don't mind the international break. I don't know about you, but God, I miss the Premier League. But it's back this weekend, and back with me this week, as always, is my ever-present podcasting partner, Alex. How you doing?
I'm good. I love the intro. You can't not love the intro. It's our thing now. It's our thing. But I've been waiting to say this for weeks. We have been joined this week. I want to do the intro for this guy because I love this guy. He is the king of Swans Twitter. He's the king of South Wales Twitter. Let's be fair, because Cardiff ain't got nobody like this guy. It's Mr. Jordan Webber.
How's it going, lads? You okay?
Yeah, we're good.
that is some intro, to be fair. I rate that.
Don't let me down now.
Hey, you've got to share us now, though. After we've said that, you've got to share us.
Oh no, boys! I'll definitely chuck it around for you. Don't worry, definitely chuck it around.
Thanks for coming, Joe. That's all we wanted. Thanks for having me. I'll see you later.
Leave me thin now, is it, boys?
Yeah, that's it. Cheers. So as you might have gathered, Jordan is a massive, a Swansea City fan. So we'll start with should we start like we did with Garin, Alex, with some quick fire questions? So just throw them out there. First of all, Jordan, doesn't have to be a Swans player. Your favorite ever footballer?
I'll do Swans and non-Swans. Favorite Swans player of all time, I would have to say Lee Trundle. I remember going down to the Vetch field, my first game was 2003. And funny enough, it was Trundle's debut against Bury. And he wasn't the main man that day. He was Brad Mailer. Mailer got a hat-trick. But Trundle scored that day. But obviously with all the tricks and everything that he's known for. And when you're a kid, that was basically like Ronaldo to us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the Swans. So I'd have to go with Trundle on that one. But non-Swans, I would say Kaka. So I loved watching Kaka growing up. So
good choice.
That's
a
really good shout, because I don't think enough people say Kaka. He's pretty high on my list, to be honest. But I feel like he's slightly overlooked.
It's mad, isn't it? Because he's won a Ballon d'Or. You know, he's got a World Cup in his locker, a couple of Champions Leagues, and he's overlooked. But
yeah.
AC Milan Kaka, it was the first season round. That AC Milan team was like my team growing up. You know, where they had a midfield of Pirlo, Seedorf, and Kaka. I don't know many better midfields, possibly Fulton, Grimes, and Smith. But you know, those three aren't bad. But yeah, I'll go with Kaka as a non-Swans player.
Yeah,
that's a good shout. I'll go now. Favorite manager. Again, you can go Swans and non-Swans, or you can just go favourite ever. We won't, discriminate you.
Swans, I'd go Rodgers, and this is quick fire, and I'm gonna have to be quick. That's the whole point of it. I do you know what I'm gonna have to go with Fergie. I know he's got his critics, but at the end of the day, I think anyone that can beat Arsenal 8-2 with a midfield of Raphael and Cleverley, I think that's got to be admired at the end of the day. But other than that, you take that away, he's been there and done it all, and practically took United to that next level. So Ferguson for me, and for the Swans, I would go Brendan Rodgers.
Pretty hard to disagree.
Safe answers, well done.
All right, favorite stadium
that I've been to, or in general?
In general.
Both.
Yeah,
okay,
both.
In general. Yeah, go on, both.
Give us both, because when we did ours at the start of the season, when we did sort of on Instagram, I put the Liberty just because I flipping love it down there. I love the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But you put the San Siro, didn't you?
Yeah. Obviously, I love the Liberty, but I thought favourite stadium to look at, and I thought it's been closed down. I'll chuck the San Siro because I always wanted to go there. But go on, Jord.
So favourite one for me, and I'm going to be honest, I'll probably say for both would be the Vetch, only because that was my first memory as a football fan. I always looked forward to as a kid going down to the Vetch field. I mean, don't be wrong, the look of the Liberty is obviously nicer, but it's just the case of that first memory for me. You know, going down to the Vetch field, you know, as the song says, down by the sea. Everything about it was just amazing. So Vetchfield for me. But if
Don't
I
say
have
too much. Don't say too much about your first memory though,
Yeah, that's coming later.
because no.
right, there we are. Okay, I'll stop then. Vetchfield.
Oh, go on out.
Best game you've ever been to?
Best game I've ever been to would be when we beat United at Old Trafford. Keane Sigurdsson scored. I remember the away end being brilliant that day. But I probably joined it between the playoff final and Old Trafford away. Those would be my two.
Do you know, I was meant to go to that Old Trafford game away. I was meant to go to that game. Oh, actually, no. Was that the first game of the season? Yeah, no, I wasn't in that game. It was a different game where Bonnie scored. But I remember watching that game on TV. Brilliant game. Was not expecting to win that. Excellent game that was.
Leads us
Quality game, man. Absolutely quality.
Leads me quite nicely on to the next one. Best game you've seen on TV?
Best game I've seen on TV would be AC Milan and Liverpool 2005 Champions League final.
Yeah.
That would be the one for me.
Istanbul.
Yeah, Istanbul. That would be the one, 100%. I don't know if any other lads have said it, but I just remember watching that game and Milan being 3-0 up, and I think a lot of Liverpool fans that day probably did turn the TV off. But everything about that game was just absolutely amazing. So that'd be the one for me.
Quality answers. That was what I hoped for from quick fire questions.
Yeah.
That's what I hoped for.
I mean, to be fair, the only thing that let me down in the quick fire questions, they weren't really quick. But,
No.
No, it's fine.
I'm hoping the answers are worth it. So
they were fantastic.
Shall we move on?
Thing is, now we've got out the way of, like, you know, on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, they do like the first 5 like quick questions.
Yeah.
They just do really quick ones. We've got those out the way now. We can sit down. We can discuss. All right.
You've got the 10 grand, Jordan. You can walk now.
Yeah.
Got the 10 grand. No, really.
We'll keep playing. We'll keep playing, boys.
Gamble. Question 1 then. First question on our list. What is your earliest football memory? You touched on it, I think, earlier.
Yeah, it would be that one down the Vetch against Bury. Like I remember the day so well as well. Like we won 4-2 that day. Like I said, Mela got a hat trick, and Trundle obviously scored. Don't ask me the Bury players' names. Honestly, I ain't got a clue. But
wouldn't.
If it's like non-Swans related, like my first football team was Morriston Town, because I'm originally a Morriston boy. So I was a Morriston monkey, as they call him, innit? But I was a centre back. I was a centre back then, and that was like my first memory. Like my father taking me to play football, and to be honest, I weren't a great centre back. Like I was absolutely shocking at times. But yeah, those would be my early memories.
You were a utility back, were you?
I was that centre back who thought he could do absolutely everything, but 99% of the time, I was that guy who, you know, scores an own goal and then no one would speak to for the rest of the day.
It's rough.
I know, but however, I did get a goal in the derby, Morriston Athletic and Morriston Town, up from a corner. So, you know, I'm taking that.
Is that a Ben Wilmot?
There we are. Yeah,
Ben Wilmot.
Exactly. That's exactly what I done.
All right. Next question. Biggest high as a football fan ever?
Biggest high as a football fan. Oh God! Like in recent years, there's been so many like with the Swans. Not so much the last couple of years, but I think Valencia away, because
you didn't, as if you went to that game.
Valencia away. Mate, it was just different, like absolutely different. Like to even get to the Europa League was something special, like for a club like Swansea, but beating a team like Valencia, like that was like dreamland.
Do you know what?
Like for us boys.
I remember where I was when I heard the score. Like we had just gone. I think didn't De Guzman score a free kick?
Oh yeah, it was like 35 yards out or something ridiculous like
he
that.
scored a ridiculous free kick. And I was in training. We had just started back training, like for whatever club we were playing for, in school or whatever. And somebody goes, "Have you seen this free kick?" And he grabbed his phone and showed me. I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, I would have loved to have been there at the time." Is it the Madrigal Stadium, Valencia?
The Mestalla.
Mestalla, I think it is.
Mestalla, yeah. But I didn't know that. I'm immensely jealous you went to over to Valencia to see that.
Unreal, mate. Absolutely unreal. And then they went down to 10 men after like 10, 15 minutes. It was like really early. And then Barney scored, Michu scored. And and obviously we just talked about De Guzman. Obviously that was goal of the night. But, mate, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Anything that's come close since?
What, since the Valencia game? Anything that's come close since? I mean, we've had a couple of.
Hang on a minute. No, I was just going to say there was a massive lag there. I don't know if that's something you keep that or.
It won lag, and I think it was you.
It was me. Oh no!
Carry on.
Leave that in. That was just me. Okay, I'll shut my mouth. Sorry to everyone listening.
Oh, so like I think one that's come close since was probably in the same season. When we beat Cardiff 3-0, because obviously that was the first time we'd beaten Cardiff in the Premier League, and that was a big high. But like I said, we haven't really had like any to the point where it was like Valencia away. So if I had to pick another one, it would probably be Cardiff, or the following season where we done the double over United and Arsenal. And since then, I wouldn't say we've had a lot, to be honest.
No, which actually relates to the next question, which is, I have an idea what it might be, to be fair. What's your lowest point been as a football fan?
Lowest point would be relegation, I think. Even though long term, it's probably what was best for the club, because I think we were flirting with relegation for a while. But it's not nice when it actually happens, is it?
No, it was horrible. That Southampton game, I think, is the worst. Actually, up until Saturday before, I think that is my worst day as a sports fan ever, with losing the derby and then Wales losing the Grand Slam and the rugby in the same night.
That was probably the worst weekend. That was the worst weekend, and probably one of my most heaviest weekends to date, to get over it. Yeah. But that Southampton game, it was just one of those games where first goal wins, and sadly Southampton got it. So, and I was the same like last weekend as well with Cardiff. It's always been like that with Cardiff, so nightmare.
Thing is, it was either I don't know if I spoke about this last time with the Swans cast boys, I can't remember, but it was either the relegation or the 6 weeks Bob Bradley was in charge. That was, for me, that was the low.
Has he gone again?
I think relegation was all mercy. There's something going wrong with my phone today. I'm having a nightmare today.
I got up until the Bob Bradley bit.
Yeah.
I was just saying that it was either relegation or the 6 weeks. That was the worst point for me.
Yeah, I mean, when we got Bob Bradley, I was thinking to myself, look,
it's everything to listen.
But like when we got,
this is a nightmare.
Sorry, mate.
Anyway, move on with the next question. Can you still hear me? Am I here?
Yeah,
right.
You still hear, mate. Yeah.
What's on your football bucket list?
All right. Funny enough, right? I was actually talking to a couple of the boys in work about this the other day. So it's a bit of a weird one. It's probably a bit of a weird answer as well. But my bucket list as a football fan, basically every city that I visit, like if I go on holiday and I do like a city break, let's say, when people go on holiday and they bring back like a souvenir, they bring back something like, a key ring or a fridge magnet, whatever it may be, just to say they've been there.
Yeah.
Mine for me, let's say I go to Amsterdam. I want to buy the Ajax top, and then I want to have like a huge collection of like football tops to say what cities I've been to or like towns. So like when I'm,
Do you know what?
That's a superb idea. That.
when I'm
That's one of the better ones I've seen. I've heard about it.
so like when I'm older, like if I ever have kids of my own and then they go on to have kids of their own, sorry, I can just be like, if my kids or grandkids ever ask me, oh, where have you been? I can just be like, right, take a seat. You're going to learn today. And it's just like basically loads of football tops. So just say, look, Amsterdam, Ajax. If I go to Milan, then I'll buy Inter and AC. Sorry to any Milan fans that listen, because that's probably terrible. But
I don't think we've reached Milan. Don't worry, mate.
I don't. Yeah,
I don't think we've.
But when we do,
Grove,
you just
Milan.
immensely blasphemous. That was.
But that's kind of like my bucket list when it comes to football, anyway. And if I can catch a game as well when I go abroad, then yeah, definitely I will. But that's sort of like my little plan. That's what I would like to do.
Excellent plan. Fair play.
Superb. It's my go now, isn't it?
It is your go.
Who or what is your football guilty pleasure?
My football guilty pleasure? Oh, God. Don't know. Some of them. What was that? What was that girl on the medical staff at Chelsea a few years back? She was all right.
Was that
Eva? Yeah. I mean, whenever Chelsea were playing, I was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind watching Chelsea today. Like,
Yeah.
But
excellent.
I've never even thought of it. Like, I've never even thought of a guilty pleasure when it comes to football.
Every other answer would be like, oh, Balotelli, Jose Mourinho.
I think
you go straight to it. You go Eva Caniero, the Chelsea Medic, to be honest.
I'm showing the exact kind of man that I am now, and I can't even deny I rate that. I rate that. I've never been a massive fan of like Chelsea anyway, and that's nothing to do with them. I just never really sit down and watch Chelsea. Like, if Chelsea are on, I'm like, well, I can give or take,
But
when she was there, it was one of those where it was like, oh, Chelsea are on today. We'll check it out.
For an injury.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember, I'm pretty sure Hazard got an injury, and I was like she came on then, and I was like, yeah, all right, I'm glad I watched it now.
Let's give us 5 more minutes.
But if I'm thinking of a guilty pleasure with football, and like on a probably serious note, I absolutely love Micah Richards on Sky Sports at the moment.
Oh,
like,
yes,
I love him.
I'm not even guilty about it.
No, not mine.
No, like, a lot of people are like dislike him, but I just find him such a breath of fresh air. Him and Roy Keane together is just comedy gold. I love them both.
We've talked about this a fair bit in like the chat and stuff, and we are with the boys. I don't like Roy Keane. On punditry, I don't like him and Graham Souness, because I don't think they actually offer any sort of punditry. I think they just whinge. But
Graham Souness, right? Sorry, mate. Go on,
carry on.
Graham Souness is just one of those guys. Like, don't get me wrong, Pogba for me, like, he was never a £90 million player. But that's what he was worth to Juventus at the end of the day. But Graham Souness, you could tell him anything, but we'll always relate it back to Pogba. Like, you could say,
stop you could say it. Absolutely, 100%.
You could literally say to him, like, oh, did you know cases are down in Wales? And he'd be like, yeah, but what does Pogba brought to the table?
More in there for me.
Yeah, Pogba's got to do more for me, and I'm like, I just don't get it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well done. Absolutely. You've literally spoken exactly the same words as what we say to each other.
It's such a weird obsession. Like, I got nothing personal towards Graham Souness. I just really want to sit him down and just be like, mate, what's your agenda with Pogba? Like, please tell me.
Yeah.
Like, I need someone to tell me because I don't get it. Like, I understand that he probably wasn't a £90 million player, but it's the same with Sigurdsson, isn't it? Like, Sigurdsson was never a £45 million player. Don't be wrong, he was class, but that's what he was worth to us.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things, isn't it?
And we spoke about this a little bit before. It was all because, like, the only reason Pogba went for so much, Sigurdsson went for so much, it was all because of Neymar, and that inflated the market, and you know that had its problems. But yeah, 100% as far as Pogba goes, don't know what his thing is with him. Don't know what his thing is.
I don't understand. United could even be playing, and Pogba was still slipping somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just so confusing.
Next question. What does the game mean to you?
To be honest, like when me and my mates were growing up, like the place where we lived, the only thing we really had there was like an AstroTurf. You know, like that's the only thing that we really had. Like it wasn't like anywhere fancy. It wasn't a nice area. I mean, it's Morriston, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just nothing there, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the next best thing would be after the AstroTurf. Probably Summerfields or Blockbusters, and that's about it. But, like, for us, that AstroTurf, like, meant everything. Like, we would go to school, Monday to Friday, and on the weekend, it was nothing but football. That was, like, our... I mean, I wouldn't say escape from life because we were only kids at the end of the day, but that's what we really looked forward to. Like that was the thing. Otherwise, we would have just had school and then nothing to do on the weekend. So, like football, as you get older, like I see a lot of people say it, and I've been in that position myself. It is an escape from everything because you go to work and you look forward to meeting your mates, you know, catching up, having a pint before the game and just enjoying it. Like that's what a lot of people look forward to. So I suppose you could say it means a lot for a lot of people's like mental well-being. Yeah, like because that is what they look forward to at the end of the day. But for me, it was just fun, you know, and that's all it was. Like when I was growing up, like I said, me and the boys just wanted to play football. That's all we wanted to do, nothing else. So for us, that it just meant fun. It kind of like freedom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you get away from your parents for a bit as well. You know, whatever they be moaning about. I don't know what they moaned about when I was a kid. Probably I hadn't done my room or something like that, and I'm like, never mind. I'm going to play football. You know, like,
I don't know about you, but I've always sort of like I've always known I love football. Like I've always enjoyed watching a game on the weekend. But on the first lockdown where we lost football, flipping heck, that hit me hard. To watch it like every week or whatever. And we spoke about it the other day, actually, Al, didn't we? That Sheffield United Aston Villa game, the first one back. I will never forget that game. And it was it 0-0 or 1-1? I think it was 0-0. Score.
Yeah, now you mentioned it.
I just never. More to the point, I'll never forget sitting down to watch that game and being like, football is back. Like,
yeah,
I don't think I don't think I really realized how much of, like you said, an escape. Really, I don't think you realize how much you actually enjoy going to the pub to watch a game, going down the stadium to watch a game, even having a kick about. You know,
Jordan just spoke about like how it has effect on your mental health and like how it's an escape. Like literally 2 days ago or yesterday, I can't remember when, but that guy from Arsenal Fan TV, Claude.
Claude, yeah.
Because of what happens, and you were watching videos. Well, I was watching videos about him. I think actually you retweeted it, Jordan, and I watched it. It was about, I think he was saying something about only having football. Like it was his way of like just escaping, dealing with life and whatever. So it means a lot more to people than I think people who don't watch football give it credit for. Like to a lot of people, they just think of it like, oh, it's 11 blokes on one side, 11 blokes on the other side, and they're falling over and blah blah blah. But it's so much more to a lot more people.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like I've met some brilliant people, you know, through football as well. Like before the game, after the game.
Yeah.
Even just on Twitter, do you know what I mean? Like I've met some great people through football. So it's not just a case of sitting down for 90 minutes and watching, 22 boys on a pitch collecting their wages. It's a little bit more than that.
It's a community.
Yeah, I think Claude, obviously the one that sadly, took his. He did take his life, didn't he? Unfortunately.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't think it's been officially announced yet, but that seems to be this speculation. I think.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people may say. I mean, if that is the case, then obviously that just sucks. Like, and
It's tragic.
yeah, it's terrible. But there was a video. I'm pretty sure Arsenal Fan TV. Who's the main guy that runs that?
Oh gosh, what's his
Robbie?
name? Robbie.
Robbie, that's it. Yeah, and they do like a little like presentation sort of night, and Claude is standing up on stage saying, like, honestly, Robbie, you saved me from my lowest point, bringing me on to the show, like. And I think if that doesn't speak volumes of how important football is to a lot of people's mental health and just in general, then I don't know what else will show it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Oh, that was profound for us. We're normally not that highbrow, we aren't.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, boys, getting a bit deep, aren't we?
Yeah, no, this is what we need. This.
Fine, yeah. It's mine now. I keep forgetting
Yeah.
questions. So, in the last sort of 12 months, if we go from the start of the dreaded Corona situation, what would you say has been your favourite football moment? Just any moment.
In the last 12 months?
Yeah.
Probably Declan John going on loan, maybe. I don't know. No, a serious note. I think the Reading game, and obviously we needed Stoke to beat Forest by a certain amount of goals, and we needed to beat Reading by a certain amount of goals to get that sixth spot. And I was sat there, and as time was going on, I was like, "Oh, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it." Like. And then we got another, and I was like, "Hang on a minute,
Yeah,
surely not." I just couldn't believe it. And when we done
that
it,
evening,
it was just
the
mental.
whole thing. It was a crazy evening because I was watching. I think it was Sky Sports News. I can't remember because I don't know where the game was, or I might have been watching it, or if I wasn't, then I was trying to watch it. And there was updates coming in, and then Stoke had, that was going on with that game, and then we had scored the fourth. And I was just trying to picture in my head, if there were fans there, I don't know how many of them would have come home. Honestly, I really don't.
Oh, if I was in Reading on that evening, mate,
that's it. You belong to Reading. That's it. You're there now. That's it.
I think that's what it is, isn't it? It's like Reading has him now, and that's the way it will just stay, I think, forever.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
No. I feel like our question 8 is redundant.
Well, the question was...
Change it to the championship.
Yeah, all right then. Well, the question... Well, I'll ask him both, because why not? It's Jordan Webber at the end of the day. It's Jordan Webber. Who will win the Premier League was the original question, so you can put your 50 pence in for that one.
I don't think many people will say it, but I'll go Man City.
Well, we've got Rogue there, to be fair.
Crazy. What a world.
Outside chance.
But for us, who will win the championship?
I still think, like, obviously with 9 games left to go, obviously teams are going to slip up and teams are going to, put a few wins together. But I still think Norwich. I think Norwich will win the championship. I'm trying to think who's in second now. Not Brentford, they're not second, are they? Watford. I think even Watford, like, I know this is probably a bad mindset to look at it, but if I'm Watford, I would just solely be focusing on second place. I think Norwich won't drop many points now, whereas there's teams like Swansea, Brentford, that can still pick up a lot of points with the running that we have. If I was Watford, I'd be focusing on, look, never mind the title, just get back to the Premier League, just finish second. So I think Norwich, for me, will go on and win the championship.
The thing is about Norwich. Oh, go on, yeah. No, I was only going to say, the thing about Norwich and like West Brom and, occasionally Fulham or whatever, they're not really good enough for the Premier League, but they're too good for the champion. Like QPR springs to mind as well. back in the day. So
Back in the
I
day,
don't
yeah.
really know how I feel about those kind of clubs.
They are.
I'm
Sorry,
more
go on.
than willing to bet that Norwich will go down next year.
Yeah, and
I'm
I
more
am
than
pretty
willing
bad.
to put like a bit of money on that. To be honest, I'll put my neck on the line.
Yeah, I think Norwich. If someone said to you, "What's a yo-yo club?" I think 99% of people probably would say Norwich. They are that team that will go up and go down.
Yeah. But go on, Sam was going to ask. Sam, what were you going to ask about the top two?
The rest of your the rest of your promotions. So, give us your top 6 essentially, and then who do you think will win the playoffs? If you can call it.
No. I think top 2 will be the 2 that are there now. I think Norwich and Watford will go up automatically. Oh God. Wow.
I know what he wants to say.
Yeah. I think Swansea and Brentford will be in the playoffs. I don't see Barnsley sticking around. I think they'll be a top half side. They've shown a number of times that they are a good team this season, but I just don't see them having enough. And I think it will be Bournemouth, and I think it will be Cardiff.
Over Reading?
I think it'd be Reading and Cardiff. I think Bournemouth might slip up.
I'd go Bournemouth and Cardiff. I would, which is quite harsh on Reading, considering Reading are they are a decent side. But I just think Bournemouth will have that little run. They'll put a little run together, and it'll just be enough. I think someone will miss out on something like goal difference.
Could be a case of that.
I think it's going to be almost similar. Maybe not as mad as last year, but I think it'll be that close. I think it's going to come down to the last day.
I think that's what it's going to be.
The last day between 2 and 3 as well. I think.
Yeah, I was speaking to the boys on the Swans cast, and they were saying it's a matter of time before Swansea and Cardiff play each other in the playoffs, whether it's the semi-finals or the actual final itself. And I think that's going to be the case this season.
I don't think I'd be able to watch.
I won't be. No, everyone else is more than welcome to, but I won't be.
Because it was pretty close in 2011.
Yeah. I think Cardiff had Reading, didn't they? And we had Forest. But I should have mentioned that. Should have mentioned that as one of my games, but
that was a good game. I remember that one.
Yeah, class game, absolutely class.
Is it my turn to finish or
wrap it up? Yeah,
wrap it up. Well, Jordan, favorite footballing memory.
Like I've seen in person, or
and what is when you think of your favorite moment as a football fan? What springs to mind?
Favorite footballing memory, probably singing hymns and arias, and then Bonnie 3-0. Like it was just so perfect. Everything about that was perfect. Pablo Hernandez standing over a free kick, and hymns and arias singing, and then all of a sudden it just cuts out, and then Bonnie 3-0 against Cardiff. I don't know how to explain that moment, but there was something about it.
That game, it was under the lights, wasn't it? That game.
Yeah, the liberty under the lights, mate. Pablo was pulling strings that day as well, and
he was
just
fantastic. Classic. But it was that. I think that was the closest I'll ever experience to physical magic, other than the Wilmot header. But that was a really special night.
Yeah, 100%. I'm still gutted that we missed out on Jamal Lowe up in Cardiff.
Yeah,
extremely gutted that we missed out on that. But I think.
Do you think, because we had a chat about this last week about the absence of fans, do you think that would have happened if fans were there? Because I'm not entirely sure, because I think they make a huge difference, particularly in games like that. And I said last week tonight that I think the reason Sheffield United are bottom compared to where they were last year, a large amount of that is due to the lack of fans. Because I think Bramall Lane was just an absolute fortress last year. Teams didn't want to go there. Fans were on their backs, and they've just been walked all over, especially at home this year.
Yeah, I agree with you massively. I think if you look at any table in the world, if there was fans there would definitely be like a few changes. I mean, Sheffield United they were looking towards Europe last season, and now all of a sudden it's just like, I don't know, there's just a massive collapse there, isn't it? And I don't think Wilder or anyone like that was the problem, because I rate Wilder. I think he's a good manager.
Yeah,
I think teams like Sheffield United need their fan base. You know, I think that's what it is, exactly like what you said. I don't think it's the case of like terrible football or anything like that. I think it's literally just the fact that fans, not just with Sheffield United, I think I can say it for a lot of teams, they give them that extra boost that they need.
It's literally the 12th man, isn't it? It is the 12th man.
Yeah, 100%. Literally the 12th man. And
cliche in it, but I think it is a thing.
Yeah, 100%. It is a thing. It's not a myth or anything. It is literally a thing. Like some of the best nights we've experienced, best days and nights we've experienced as a Swansea City fan may not have happened if fans weren't there. You know,
You're right.
There's so many ifs and buts about fans being there or not, but that is one thing that I totally agree with, that especially for a club like Sheffield United, if there was fans there, there's not to say they may, like obviously the second season syndrome, that's been proven to be a thing as well. You know, like some clubs are like excel first season and are absolutely tragic the following season, but I don't think they'd be playing as bad as they are now, and I think that's down to fans.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, thank you for coming on. It's been a good chat. We've had some real proper discussions on this one. So,
no, that's right. I was saying to the boys on a Swans cast, like I ramble on too much. So if you need, like, if you do invite me back on, just if you want me to just like, you know, keep it short and sweet, please tell me. I do have a really bad habit of rambling on.
We'll have you back on now for, we said with the Swans cast, boys, promotion party. If we go up, we'll have you all on, right? And we'll have a promotion party. But no, the rambling is I mean, we do enough of it. It's perfect for the podcast. So thank you for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've been looking forward to this one, and it's lived up to the expectations, I think.
No, not a problem at all. Like I said, it's an absolute pleasure to be on, boys. So, you know, thank you for having me.
Yeah, cheers. And thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. We've got another guest on next week, which is quite exciting. We are quite excited about that one as well. So have a good week. Enjoy the return of the Premier League, and we'll see you next week. Ta-ra.